You catch yourself telling a friend her boyfriend is clearly losing interest, and somewhere underneath it you know you are describing your own relationship. Or the doctor mentions a number on your blood work, and you nod, and then you simply do not think about it again. Or you catch yourself explaining, calmly and reasonably, exactly why the thing you already decided to do was the right call all along. None of these feel like tricks while they are happening. They feel like you, thinking clearly. Freud insisted your mind runs an entire family of moves like these, constantly, without ever asking your permission. Defense mechanisms. Remember the ego from the cake, stuck negotiating non-stop between a hungry ID and a judgmental superego. Freud proposed the ego does not improvise that negotiation from scratch every time. It reaches for a small set of standing strategies instead. Today we open that toolkit for real and ask a harder question than last time. Which of these tools actually survive contact with modern research? Start with denial, refusing to register a painful fact, even when the evidence is sitting right in front of you. It shows up in something as small as skipping the scale after a hard week, or as consequential as waving off a doctor's warning. Denial reliably shows up on the standard measurement scales, and it tracks real outcomes, like worse anxiety and slower treatment. Denial keeps showing up on both of the field's real measurement instruments, the self-report defense-style questionnaire and the clinician-rated defense mechanisms, rating scales. Next, projection. Taking a feeling that is actually yours and experiencing it as if it belongs to someone else. The friend certain her partner is losing interest, while it is her own attention that has quietly wandered, is the textbook shape of it. Projection is the other defense with the strongest research backing, loading reliably onto the same scales as denial and predicting real conflict. Projection's fingerprint reaches past a single-strained friendship, too. In clinical samples, it tracks both ongoing interpersonal conflict and the severity of a person's personality disorder diagnosis. Third, displacement. The anger that belongs at the office arriving instead at home, aimed at someone who did nothing to deserve it. This one has real experimental roots, not from Freud's own clinic, but from a whole later literature on frustration and redirected aggression, and it still replicates. One widely repeated claim about displacement, that it specifically predicts less violent crime among teenagers, turned out to trace back to no identifiable study, so it is left out here. Fourth, sublimation. Taking an urge you cannot act on directly and pouring it into something the world actually rewards. Here the honest picture splits in two. People who lean on sublimation really do show better mental health, and that correlation is solid. But Freud's specific claim that an unconscious urge is literally getting rerouted rests on far thinner ground, essentially one real experiment, and not much else standing behind it. That one real experiment behind sublimation has a name, a 2013 study by Kim, Zeppenfeld, and Cohen. The specific citation researchers point to when they call it more than a mere correlation. Even sympathetic critics still call the underlying construct too vague to operationalize, with too little empirical support standing behind its specific unconscious story. Sublimation sits at the very top of what researchers call Vellant's hierarchy of defenses, the same ladder the clinician-rated scale still uses to sort immature, neurotic, and mature coping today. Now, the honest part, because this episode owes you the same scrutiny the last two did. This honesty extends to the research process itself. The research passes that failed to reach real sources this round were dropped rather than kept, and only passes that found real citations count here. Rationalization is the clearest case of a defense getting reframed rather than confirmed, dressing up a decision you already made in perfectly logical-sounding reasons. Independent researchers keep landing on the same alternative explanation from different directions. This looks like motivated reasoning and dissonance reduction, not a hidden unconscious mechanism. The rationalization, reframe, even has a paper built around it, a behavioral and brain sciences piece, whose title states outright that rationalization is a suboptimal explanation on its own. Two more mechanisms do not hold up nearly as well. Reaction formation, acting the opposite of what you truly feel, and regression, reverting to childish coping under stress. What the data actually show for reaction formation is opinions hardening under pressure, not flipping to the opposite, which is a different phenomenon with a different name. Regression under stress is real to watch happen, an adult reaching for comfort food or old habits, but no study has pinned down an unconscious mechanism doing it on purpose to reduce anxiety. Across both instruments, the bigger pattern holds up cleanly. Mature defenses like sublimation predict better long-term outcomes. Immature ones like denial and projection predict worse ones. And scores drift toward maturity as therapy actually works. The clinician-rated scale keeps getting validated further still, with a 2026 German language version and a new study linking it to interpersonal personality research, while a separate 2026 review found the older self-report questionnaire structure gets shakier specifically in adults with depression. The self-report family itself comes in more than one length, DSQ-40, and the longer DSQ-88, and both share that same known weakness, a factor structure that holds up less cleanly than the clinician-rated scales does. That clinician-rated hierarchy actually runs in three broad tiers: psychotic and immature defenses at the bottom, neurotic ones in the middle, and mature defenses like sublimation sitting at the healthy top. Underneath all of this sits one open argument researchers have not settled: whether we even need unconscious defense as its own category once cognitive bias is already on the table. One argument reduces the whole toolkit to plain cognitive bias: denial as simply failing to weigh a low probability, projection as the ordinary false consensus effect, rationalization as garden variety, after the fact justification. That plain bias reframe deserves an honest asterisk. It came from a research past that could not reach real cited sources. So it stands here as a hypothesis worth holding loosely, not a proven finding. One side says these are just measurable biases with new names. A recent review answers back that reducing everything to conscious bias erases something real about desire and conflict operating out of view. The pushback against that reframe has a name too: a 2026 paper called Revisiting Defense Mechanisms in Contemporary Clinical Practice, arguing that reducing everything to cognitive strategy erases the dynamic core of psychoanalytic theory. Picture denial in its ordinary, everyday form: the test result you have not opened yet, the bill you have not looked at, the conversation you keep finding reasons to postpone. Projection shows up just as plainly. The exact flaw that irritates you most in someone else is often, uncomfortably, the one you have the hardest time admitting in yourself. Displacement is the quietest of the three, the frustration from one place in your day landing somewhere else entirely, on someone who did nothing to deserve it. So the honest scoreboard: denial and projection are the best evidence tools in the kit. Displacement is close behind, and sublimation helps even though its exact mechanism stays unproven. None of that makes the toolkit useless. It just means some tools in it are sharper than others. This week, catch yourself using just one of the well-evidenced ones: the flinch of denial or the finger you point in projection, and notice it without judging it. That noticing is the whole exercise. The ego does not need your permission to run its toolkit, but you can at least watch it work. Next episode, we go earlier than any of this, back to childhood, and ask where the patterns these tools are defending in the first place actually come from. That is the ego's toolkit, not a set of tricks played on you, but the oldest, quietest labor your mind performs to keep you standing.